Hey YouTube, how's it going? About 3 weeks ago, I bought myself a NAS. Yes, a NAS is a network attached storage, and I got the D'link Sharecenter, the 2-bay cloud network storage, the DNS/320L. So here are my experiences. Why did I get one? Well, I found that my digital life was in a really weird place. Now, in the past, I've always tried to keep everything in one place and backed up, but I just found doing that's getting more and more difficult. I mean, I've got literally data everywhere. I've got stuff on my tablet, I've got stuff on my computer, I've got stuff backed up onto multiple hard drives, and I needed a way to make all this data backed up and safe and made accessible. And a NAS seemed like a really good way to do that. Now, the model I bought, most of the reviews were pretty good. There were a few bad ones that basically says that it doesn't work. Now I thought, well, Amazon's got a pretty good return policy, so I thought I'd take a chance on it. I paid about £50. Now, sometimes Amazon do have them slightly cheaper, but the problem is they tend to sell out pretty quickly. So I bought one from a third party, set at 50 quid, and honestly, I think it was well worth the money. Now, this NAS, you've got to bring your own hard drive. So if you've got some hard drives lying around, you're laughing. Now, I've just retired my Drobo, so I had about 4 drives. I used the 2 newest ones, which were 1.5 terabytes. I bunged them into my NAS, connected my NAS to near my router, connected by 100 megabit Ethernet. Yeah, I think that's correct. 100 megabit Ethernet. Yeah, near to a power source. Bung the hard drives into it, turned it on, and then you go to the computer with the CD install. You follow the instructions, and it's pretty simple. I mean, I think anyone could do it. I haven't had any problems with mine. Now, the bottleneck with this NAS is it's connected by 100 megabit Ethernet. Now, if I get these terms wrong, I do apologise. Now, I'm using 100 megabit Ethernet, which is giving me write speeds of, I think it's 12.5 megabytes a second, I believe. I think that is correct. And, well, no, that's not correct. Theoretically, 100 megabit Ethernet, you get 12.5 megabytes a second. But with this, it's either this NAS or my network or whatever, I seem to be maxing out about 9.5 megabytes a second, which is perfectly fine. It takes me about 2 minutes to transfer 1 gig of data, provided you're transferring sort of biggish files. Because I find if you're transferring, let's say, if I was transferring my NES ROM set, that would take a little bit longer because there's loads of small files, so it's got to write and finalize loads of little files. But if I'm backing up like fairly biggish files, this thing can sustain, pretty decent write speeds. It's really cool because I can just literally dump content on my NAS and then go off and do some housework. I mean, the only downside to a NAS is getting data on there. It can be slow. It's slower than USB 2, but the advantage is, like, for example, you want to view photos, they pop up instantly. If you want to look at comics, I love digital comics, and I found using NAS is a great way because I can just dump my entire comic archive onto my NAS. I can add new comics to the NAS as and when, and I can access them on my Retina tablet, which is really cool. Beforehand, I would have to basically download comics, I'd have to archive them on my computer, and then I'd have to get my tablet and then bung the comics onto them, and it just felt redundant. Now, I just literally bung them into one place, and then in that one place, the NAS, they're accessible. It's really cool. Same with music, same with ebooks. I've got all my ROMs on there, and it's so cool. Like, if I download some ebooks, I can literally just, as and when, I can download them onto my phone through the Wi-Fi connection. And I did an experiment yesterday just to see how fast this NAS was, and I was actually running ROMs on my computer. Yeah, I was running NES ROMs, SNES ROM, Mega Drive ROMs, and it was just like accessing them from the computer. I even accessed a PSP ISO through the emulator on this computer, and I gotta say, it was like, there was no difference. I think the great thing about NAS is if you're accessing data, as long as the access speed is fast enough, it's like using a computer. The only time you're ever going to notice the NAS is not quite that fast is when you're trying to dump data on there as quick as possible. I suppose to end this video is a NAS for everyone. if you're a single dude, you living in a flat, and your computer is your life, then chances are no, because your data, all of it's going to be on your computer, and you're going to have a pretty good backup solution. But if you're a dude like me and you've got multiple devices, you've got phone, you've got tablet, game consoles, media TVs, and you've got a load of data, and you want that data to be backed up, accessible, then a NAS is fantastic, especially if you're in a relationship. I mean, me and Mrs. we take so many photos, and a NAS is great because we can just dump photo, we can just create art, we can create like folders, we can create folders, dump photos, and then we can access it for our phones, computers, or if we go to a family, we can access the photos for our NAS. Yes, because this NAS acts as a kind of a cloud storage. Now, the only downside is you're limited by your upload speed. Now, my internet connection has, I think it's got an upload speed of 1 megabit per second, which if you want to stream music or you want to access photos, it's great. Downloading big files are going to take you a while. But if I had my phone and I wanted to play some old video games and I forgot to download certain games onto it, I can just access them through the NAS. It'll just take, maybe a minute to download one, maybe 30 seconds or a minute to download one of the games. It's pretty cool. I mean, I think a NAS would be really good, especially for families. I mean, if you've got a whole family and you're all taking photos, you've got content, you need all that content to be backed up and made accessible to the family, a NAS would be fantastic. So to end this video, I've had my NAS for 3 weeks. I'm really happy with it. It's done everything I wanted and more, and it's made my life so easy. I mean, I can just dump every kind of digital data. I can just dump it I can just dump it onto the NAS, and it's just made accessible in so many ways. It's made things so much easier for me. So that is my video about the D'link Sharecenter, and it gets my thumb approval.